Good evening, everyone. My name is Amol, and I am the President and Chief Investment Officer of Pegasus Digital Asset Investment and the head analyst for Cryptosomniacs. So I am going to take you on a journey of understanding what Bitcoin is doing today. So let's get to it. And if you are here in the lounge from the Cryptosomniacs Moon Lounge, say hello. The general public, say hello. Welcome, everybody. Let's see who we got here. All right. Looks like we're still waiting. What do we have here? What do we got? Let's see. Awesome. And if you are here with me, give me a little thumbs up. Awesome. I'm going to try to figure out how to work this chat first, so bear with me, people. Awesome. Okay. Let me try to get this chat going. Bear with me, my friends. All right. Okay. Awesome. All right, everyone. Cool. So, I may look like James Harden, but I'm not. I am your head analyst of Cryptosomniacs. For those who missed the beginning intro, I'd like to introduce myself a little bit more and tell you a bit about my background, who I am, and how I got started on the journey of investing and working myself up as a trader and, more importantly, an investor. So this kind of starts when I was 17. I have a funny story about how I got a hold of my dad's credentials for his TD Ameritrade account, I think, and I traded out of his money without him knowing. and so I got in a little bit of trouble because I lost a bunch of money, and so I tried to make it up to my dad, and you know, I asked him to help open up an account for me, and so he helped do that, and he gave me $100, fortunately. And after that, you know, I got started in terms of researching and understanding how to invest and how to become a trader. And the first stock I ever invested in, I think, was Vestas Wind Energy, and then Microsoft, Cisco. Um, yeah, you know, it's been a long journey, and um, you know, I live in Austin, Texas. Amazing weather. I you know, have always been into investing, and something kept always, you know, pulling me back into trading and investing, and I've been investing for years. And so now I decided to, around the late 2016, I decided to enter into cryptocurrencies, and I did my best to teach everyone what I know of the markets, and I'm hoping to teach you guys today of how to do proper technical analysis, and hopefully this augments your due diligence and your research, and hopefully we can make some good decisions together. You guys make some money, we all make some money together. Awesome, let's get to it. All right, as you can see, we have the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, US dollar pair, Bitfinex exchange. My goal today is to explain you guys and demystify these charts as much as I can, because I've seen, you know, a host of people across the crypto sphere, the YouTube sphere. Everyone's doing technical analysis, and it seems like, you know, these people came out of the woodwork, you know, almost overnight, and it seems like everyone's an expert. So I'm not trying to claim that I'm an expert, but I've been now doing this for 10.5 years, and I am still a student of the market. And I will always tell people that I am always a student of the market, because the market will always teach you. You are not the professor, you are a student. And so with that in mind, let me do my best to share my knowledge with you of what is happening in Bitcoin. And so first off, you can see a few things happening on this chart. You see this this ellipse right here that I've drawn, and another ellipse that I've drawn right here. And this is to illustrate the downward movement that we've been seeing since the top that we met at 10,000, which is right about here, right up here. And since then, it looks like we've just been in this almost a downtrend, and we can't break past it. And so it looks like we are essentially stuck with the bears in control. And even now, with the slight pop that we've seen right around the $7,100 range, even now we're in this rising wedge, and we've created even smaller fractals within, with this rectangle right here and this one rectangle right here. And every time we've met this strong overhead resistance right here, which is around the $7,600 marker, we seem to fall down with a nice tall 4-hour sell candle. And, you know, it looks like we're hopping back up, but as you can see, this creates a rising wedge, which is typically a bearish pattern. And so I expect us to fall this way, indicated by this arrow. You know, I've been bearish or semi-bearish with the market since probably mid-January, early February. The markets are really easy to understand, and the thing is, people often try to make money out of a market when the market itself is in a downtrend, and they don't realize when to hop in or when to hop out. And so I'm hoping to teach you guys something about that tonight, of being able to understand what is a reasonable time to get into a market, when is the bottom, when is the top, You know, when can you take profits and when you just need to stay out and, I don't know, not play with your money and not gamble, essentially. So as you can see, you know, this downtrend since 10,000, in Cryptosomniacs, we gave the signals to exit the market, or rather take our recommendation to exit at 9,300 and 8,800. So if you sold and you are in fiat or tether, you would be pretty happy. You'd be at a nice 10-15% gain even if you rebought in right now. However, we still have not recommended a buy signal yet. I do expect further downside, and I don't think we're done with this this bearish movement yet. We have not completed it. I had also pointed out that the Stoked RSI right here, the stochastic RSI, still has a ways to go down below. And as you can see right here, by this yellow ellipse, that we fell for, you know, a good 2-3 days after slightly recovering and then falling some more down here. So I expect a similar movement, which might take us to the bottom of this ascending support line that we've created since early last year, essentially. And I'll point that out a little bit later. So smash the thumbs up, guys. You know, let me know if you like what I'm saying. Please ask questions. I will try to get to them the best I can. Again, this is my first time doing this, so take it easy on me. I'm going to do the best I can, and I'm going to try to improve and teach you guys everything that I know. And hopefully you guys can either make some money or at least not lose any, you know? So, awesome. All right. So, as you can see, the check and money flow, the CMF, right here, on the 4-hour, it looks like it's doing decent. And there is some money flows coming into the market. But again, because the Stochastic RSI also has some bottom left to it, I expect this market to fall further, and I also expect the CMF to follow. The MACD, let's see, the MACD also does not look good. It could barely, you know, get over the neutral territory right here. The histograms are looking weak, and it looks like this, I would probably say that this may curl down here shortly over the next day or two, given that it's the weekend also. We typically expect lower volume on the weekends, just how it's been in crypto. I don't expect any change this weekend, so we'll just have to see. And with that being said, let's move on to the one-day chart. And I'm going to try to make the chart simpler as I go on with these other tabs that I have, and explain to you guys what, you know, every indicator means, what candles look like, and if they're showing candlestick patterns, if you understand those, exactly if they're bullish, bearish, whatever. So as you can see right here, it looks like we, again, on the 7 candle on the TD sequential, which deals with countdowns and setups of being able to set up reversals on stocks or cryptos. It looks like we bounced off the 7 right here, and we've printed a good 5 days, but very weak 5 days, as you can see. They're barely, the 2 is barely on top of the 1, 3 is barely on top of the 2, and so on and so forth. And it looks like the 5 is getting weaker now. You know, maybe in the next day or two we would expect a reversal. I was almost hoping that, you know, this 7 candle countdown would end at the 9 and we just get it over with and it hit a strong reversal right around the 6,900 or 7,000 range, and then we can pop back up. However, what this really does is we set up for 7 candles in the bearish downtrend, and then we had a weak bounce, and it looks like after that the bounce just got weaker and weaker, and this could be seen as a almost weaker bullish pennant, but it's honestly not. Nothing about this environment tells me that we are in a bullish environment. If anything, if I see a big candle curl down, this is essentially a lower high that's created, which is another bearish sign that Bitcoin has further downside. Another bad thing that I foresee in this chart is the TK cross, which is the Kijun line is now on top of the Tenkan Sen line, and this is the Tenkan line right here, the light blue, and the Kijun line is right here, the red. Typically when this happens, when the Kijun line gets on top, you see further downside. And so now that this just crossed, which is almost 529, 3 days ago, 2 days ago, it looks like we could be foreseeing further downside, just like all the other charts are saying. And Ichimoku cloud, again, we are under the cloud, which is another bearish sign. And given the TK cross has now happened, I do expect further downside. The Stochastic RSI is right around the mid-level mark, 56 or so. So it does have a long way to go, and then it can just keep going out farther and drain out, just like this right here, what we've had. So, you know, I don't mean to scare everybody. I'm not bullish or bearish in this market. I'm just here to give you guys an objective view of what's happening and hopefully save y'all some stress, save y'all some money. So let's see if we have any questions here. What do we got? Marco Pones, moved to Puerto Rico, huh? I'm late. John H. Hey, Regina, doing a great job. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. It looks like everything is lined with the June 6th theory. Ah, CJ, thank you for mentioning that. It looks like the cat has gotten out of the bag, and it looks like everybody around the crypto sphere has been mentioning the 6th theory. And I will tell you first thing that Cryptosomniacs, I found out about this let's see. I updated this chart 5/8, so May 8th, so almost a month ago, and we kept this, you know, only for our Advantage members, and we also told people right around the 18th or 20th about this reversal down here, and so looks like Arden saying you have more facial hair than your email picture. Yes, thank you. I decided to grow out my beard, so thank you. Yeah, so I actually made this chart, you know, a little while back, and I made sure to warn all our members about this particular pattern. Now, guys, you know, how do you know that an industry or a space is controlled by bots? Well, bots are predictable, right? You know, they're not like humans. They're not unpredictable. They will do whatever is programmed. So as you can see, it seems like, you know, they were programmed to, you know, turn the reversals on either side on the 6th, as you can see, as marked by these yellow vertical lines. And, you know, again, this could be a coincidence, but, you know, the fact that it happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and potentially 6 months in a row, I don't know, coincidences like that in the market are rarely coincidences. They seem more like almost too well planned out. So I'm expecting at least, you know, a further downside, maybe not a reversal, maybe the whales, bots, whoever caught on and they're saying, hey, everyone in the crypto space now knows our tricks. So maybe they might not follow through with it. But what I do know is we do have further downside, you know, unless we get significant volume coming into the market ASAP. And I just don't see that happening. You know, something about these markets is it's very easy, even if you're a beginner, to understand a market that's going up and a market that's going down. And I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But I just wanted to show you all this chart and to let you know that Cryptosomniacs had mentioned this chart close to a month ago before the entire crypto space even knew. So please join our Advantage program for more analysis like this. And you'll get daily analysis from myself. I do multiple part analysis. We do provide, you know, on-the-spot TA for you guys, for our Moon Lounge members. So if you're a Moon Lounge member, give me a thumbs up. If you're someone new, hit the thumbs up. Let me know that you're liking my charting. Yeah, so let's move on. And aside from the 6 theory guys, I also made some fractals. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know what fractals are, but let me just quickly explain. Essentially, fractals are, everywhere in nature, right? They're larger patterns that could also be seen in a smaller and smaller manner, but they kind of look and mean the same. Essentially, they can resemble the same kind of movement in crypto or stocks. So this would be a fractal, right? You see this large movement up like this. Same here, large movement up like this. The golden pattern right here, a little bit downside, downside right here. And then the green fractal goes up, the green fractal goes up. And then the final fractal, which is the red one, right? I have made subfractals within that, but the larger fractal goes all the way down and this one goes all the way down. So as you can see, fractals do play out. I mean, they definitely play out in crypto. So the last fractal, guys, that's remaining right here, as you can see from my subfractals, right? You see this pink, green, black, yellow have already played out. The last one we're waiting on is this bluish purple. And I do expect that this one to come down farther in the next few days. Now it's not a prediction. It's just the probability. It's just a pattern that I've noticed in the market. So let's see if that plays out over the next few days, and you guys can maybe let me know that I was right or wrong. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, these are all probabilities. I'm doing the best I can to find patterns in the markets and figure out how to convey that information best to you so you can make your proper judgment of entering or exiting the market. So let's move on to the next chart. Again, this is the daily chart on Bittrex. On the 1 week chart, this one I'm not really a big fan of either. Again, bearish, very bearish, especially on the weekly chart. As you can see, starting from last year in March, we had this large movement up, right? And now it looks like, we've had consecutive weeks of just bearish momentum, and it looks like we still haven't stopped. We had those 4 weeks or so of bouncing up to that 10K mark right here, but after that, we reversed pretty hard. We have essentially erased that bounce from 6,600 all the way to 10K, almost 70 to 80% retracement of that bounce. And so that does not scream to me a bullish market in any regard. All that really tells me is, there's further downside to be expected. And this kind of created a lower high, because this is the high, this would be a lower high, and this is another lower high. So what are these lines, right? Okay, so let me explain each one, okay? So this gold line right here is the 50 moving average. So this is 50 weeks of the movement of Bitcoin. And it's averaged out by this projecting line right here. And not that you guys can see this, but I will tell you that this has not been broken since probably 2014 or 13, right? And so finally in this past week, we broke through it and we printed a candle, this TD sequential bearish 3 candle, right under it. And this is not a good sign. We have not broken the 50 moving average in a few years. So that tells me again that there's further downside. But how far down? Well, let's see. So the other EMA, which is the exponential moving average, and I've kind of tweaked this one a little bit. This one's a 64, the pink line. This is a 64-week exponential moving average. And as you can see, it's been pretty steady in helping us bounce right around this level right here, 58, 5900 for this February downside. And this one here in March, and even this one kind of helping us around April time. So it's been pretty steady. So that one is around 6,900, and who knows, we might actually bounce off that 64 exponential moving average, which is around 6,800 or 6,900, and that would be great. If we can bounce off that, I would expect rather a strong bounce where we need to break 10K, because if we don't break 10K, we have essentially created another lower high, and that would mean further downside. That again screams bearish market. And even the same TK cross that we saw on the daily is the same TK cross we're seeing on the weekly, which, because weeklies trump dailies because they're larger time frames, this is another larger bearish sign. The Kijun line, which is the red, is now crossing on top of the light blue, which is the Tenkan line. This just tells me from a technical analytical standpoint that we do have further downside. And even the Ichimoku cloud is right around 5,900. The next place we could potentially bounce is around this 5,500, 5,700 range. And then the next farthest bounce is the 100 moving average, which is around 4,200. Let's not even think about that. I don't want to. It's going to depress me. So what else do we have? Let's see, any more questions? Wow, this is amazing, Arden. Thank you. Appreciate it. Awesome. Okay, Boise, how are you, man? Thank you for watching my TA, watching my YouTube webinar. I love the support, guys. I love this community. How long? Are you asking me how long I've been doing this? Well, I've been doing this for 10.5 years, so I hope that is a substantial amount of time to be able to learn about the markets and convey to you the best information that I can. Again, guys, all these charts and this TA stuff, it's honestly not that hard. It's more so just practice and being able to remove emotion out of the market, right? One of my favorite books is Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, and he explains how it's important to be able to, not let your emotion get into the market and revenge trade or try to catch the next, 2x, 10x, 100x coin. So hopefully, you guys aren't those kinds of people. We're all here to stay in crypto for the long run. We want to create wealth, not just get rich overnight, because wealth is truly the one, kind of richness that lasts, And so I hope that helps. Awesome. How do you feel about Neo, Rusty Blockchain? I love Neo. It's actually one of my top, 3 or at least top 5 picks. I'm very bullish on Neo. I think it's their idea of smart blockchain economy. It's going to be huge, I think, in the future. But these are businesses that are going to take time. They're going to take, maybe 2 to 5 years to develop, just like Ethereum did. They started in 2012 or 13, and now 5 years later, they're massive. They're a huge platform. So you got to let these babies almost, crawl and walk and run and eventually fly to the moon. What are my top 5 picks, Bethany? Okay, Ethereum, Nebulous, Neo. Let's see. I do like ONT. Not super bullish on them, but they're a pretty amazing project. I'd like to see some more success from them, rather than just pumping up their price right now. That doesn't really tell me a whole lot about them. Again, fundamental analysis, which is being able to look at the project, the team, their production value is of the utmost importance. Prices could be inflated, overnight. That's not that hard to do. So. Will Zebi at 100x? Yeah, I have no idea. I don't have that kind of crystal ball, so sorry. Bullish on Neo ICOs also. Yeah, I think Neo has a really strong team. I like Dehong Fei. He's a really talented individual, and I really do believe that partnering up with Neo really just says a lot about you as a project. So yeah, I am bullish on Neo ICOs. What else? Will all my wildest dreams come true if I join? I can do my best to make sure that you make your top investments successful with your due diligence and mine. That's all I can promise you. There are no promises of Lambos and moons. I can't do that. I'm gonna do the best I can. I put in 10 to 14 hours a day into Cryptosomniacs, and I do so with my fund as well. So I am, I do work really hard to ensure that our members, the Cryptosomniac community, gets the best work. Is Elastos the next Bitcoin? I like Elastos. I don't know about the next Bitcoin. There is no next Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the only Bitcoin. That's all I can say. What's your opinion on Hedera Hashgraph? Oh, DAGs. Yeah, really great project. To be honest, I don't really know that much about it. I only watched one webinar from them yesterday, and I started getting into them. I would like to get into their ICO, so we'll see. We'll see, if I can research into them more, and maybe I'll update you guys on the next webinar. So, let's see. Seems these coins won't do shit for mooning until the tech is actually in use. X Games. You're actually right, The thing is, we are in this fantasy land in crypto where we expect everything to start making money with no products being produced. You don't want that, guys. Trust me. That is the way markets collapse, and fast, because when more Wall Street people, more traders across the world start catching on that this is an easy place to just make money off of amateur investors, they will do their best to manipulate the market and tank it. Not that the market's not already manipulated, but it's going to be a lot worse if you allow it. What do I think of Rootstock? Don't know that much about it. Cardano, yeah, awesome. Now let me continue on with my TA. So done with the weekly chart here. Let me open up something else. This is the BLX, which is the Brave New Coin Bitcoin Index. Guys, I'm picking this to show you guys the long-term vision. And again, in the medium term, I am bearish because this is not a market that gives me positive signals, positive hope for what's currently happening with the price action. However, in the long term, with some of these S curves and parabolic curves that I've drawn, you can see that we have been doing phenomenally well since 2011, right? We have, just incredible value and gains. But don't let that, blind you from the reality that all markets go through, bearish corrections and trends of pullbacks. So as you can see right here, we entered, let's say, October 2013, and we had a nice, strong rally around September of, let's see, $121 all the way to, 1,218. So almost a 10x gain, right? Almost very similar to what we kind of had, from March or August 2017 all the way to December 2017. A good 10x gain. However, if you look at this market after, right, in this 2013 and 2014 environment, we had a 651-day correction, guys. That's almost an 85% retracement from the high, from this bottom to this top. We came down almost 85% at one point. And so, if we were to iron that out from our current movement, right, our current bullish uptrend, let's just say we started at like 3,400 all the way to 20,000, an 80% reduction or 80% retracement would probably take us right around, a good $5,000 or $6,000, right? Which is, we're not too far away from it. And the thing is, Bitcoin has had a strong history of retracing, 70, 80, 90% sometimes. You can even look at this move in 2011. Like, we went from, 72 cents to $30, and we came back down to $1.93. So we do have a strong history of that. And so don't be surprised if that happens again. And that is why I keep stressing that, wait for confirmations in this market. I tell Cryptosomniac members all the time, wait for confirmation, wait for confirmation. Don't try to catch the bottom. You never want to be in the business of catching a falling knife, as they say. I like my hands very much, and I don't like catching knives. So I'm trying to save your hands, and I'm trying to save mine. So as you can see, if we were to mimic this same correction out here, we would come out somewhere next year around July or so, probably, and we'd probably be right around the $5,000 to $6,000 range if we were to have that same 70 to 80% correction like this 2013 to 15 did. But let's not hope for that. We only take it one day at a time. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't make predictions. Charting is all about probabilities. So I'm doing my best to create a probability to show you guys and empower you with deep insight of what exactly is happening in the space. Awesome. So any questions? What do we have? Another 651-day correction. Wouldn't go down well with my wife. Oh man, that's funny. Thoughts on Qtum? Love it. Great project. Let's see. Cardano, another good project. I would love your opinion on WAN. Okay, WAN chain is. I like the project fundamentals. I know they have a lot of strong partnerships, but if you're looking strictly from a TA standpoint, I actually did TA for our group a little while back on it. Let's see. Remove this, it's not mine. So again, guys, one thing to understand about this market is Bitcoin is the alpha. It dictates the entire movement of the market. You need to understand that, okay? It's very important. There may be some, independency happening over the next few years of Bitcoin dominance coming down as well as alt dominance coming up, but it hasn't happened yet. Bitcoin dictates the market. It dictates the entire movement of the market. So, WAN is simply following Bitcoin right now, almost to the T. And so, even in WAN, unless you're long-term bullish, you can allocate more WAN at the dips, such as this one right here. Now again, you don't need to try to catch the bottom, so these would probably be in a fib zone. So let's try to draw out that fib right here. Where'd it go? Okay. So as you can see, let's see where we are right now. Let's just say. Okay. So if you bought here, the next level you may want to sell on is right under that resistance, the 236. Let me turn this background off. Okay, cool. But if you are thinking how much it could fall farther, it looks like the next support zone where a lot of accumulation happened is in this area right here. So let me try to find that out. exactly what that is. So that would probably be your next accumulation zone. But it looks like we had a strong bounce right here. Clearly the price got rejected in terms of falling farther right around this 5,300 Satoshi level. However, if we do fall from this range right here, I would expect it to bounce a little bit again right here where more buyers are, and potentially, fall back under this 4,700 all the way down to 4,300 range for when. In terms of 4-hour indicators, let's see what we got here. Oh, it's really hard to see. Let's see if we can change that. The RSI seems to be looking decent on the 4-hour. It's right in the middle there. So not super overbought, not super oversold. I'd probably expect this to move a little bit sideways, maybe retest that resistance right there. And, it looks like it's created some lower, it looks like it's created some higher lows right there. One, maybe two. So yeah, I mean, it looks like it's trending upwards in a nice channel. So if you want to buy here, that would not be a bad idea. But again, I'm no financial advisor. I'm just here to tell you that I like this project, and you do whatever you want with that information. Oh, that's really bad. So it seems to be in that kind of channel right there. Yeah, I mean, and that could also be seen as a rising wedge, guys. So be careful. And again, because Bitcoin is so uncertain, I typically don't like going against the trend of Bitcoin. As they say, the trend is your friend till the end. So make sure you keep that in mind. Don't try to go against the alpha, which is Bitcoin. It does dominate the market, and it does lead the market in terms of controlling the entire cryptocurrency space. So what else we talked about? So much talk of institutional money arriving this year could happen. Quite possibly Rusty blockchain. The thing is, institutional money is not just going to get into a market that's so unregulated. I don't think that's how they operate. It would just be unwise. Although I do know that high net worth individuals do want to get into the market, and they are actually finding ways. Whether it be OTC, which is over the counter exchanges such as Kraken or Gemini, and I know there's a bunch out there, Cumberland. So people are finding ways to get in there, but institutional money, I don't really know if they're coming in anytime soon. And I also don't think that institutional money is going to start paying $7,000 for Bitcoin that doesn't really have any use, so I don't really know. Let's see. Just need to find 1.2 trillion somewhere. Yeah, XMUX, okay. I'm thinking 25K is reasonable by the end of 2018. I also think that's reasonable. Life-size box. Yeah, I think even $2 trillion by early next year, which is probably January or February next year, I would say that's reasonable. But to say that's reasonable means that we need to start making some headway in the crypto space and the blockchain space, right? We need to have more adoption happening around the community. We need more people talking about it. We need to see some products being used in the real world use cases, right? I mean, when's the last time you used blockchain for anything? When's the last time you used Ethereum aside from, for investing, right? So you want to have that kind of adoption, that kind of frenzy happening, because aside from that, like, this is just fake internet money. But we're all hoping that in the future that this is going to be useful. We're essentially, betting on these projects to be successful in the future in hopes that they will create something revolutionary. I know at least I am, and I think they will, but I think we got to give it time, you know. So that 1.2 or $1 trillion by the end of the year is not unreasonable, but given the way the market is right now, it just doesn't seem likely yet. I feel like we still have more bearish, movement ahead. So yeah, we'll just have to see, guys. Again, no crystal balls here. So, Tom, how are you? Amol, can you analyze the BTC weekly and monthly chart, please? Sure, I have done that, but I will do it again because you guys are my friends and I like y'all. So here's the weekly chart, Tom, and as I mentioned before, the weekly chart, I'm using the TD sequential, by the way. It's an indicator that helps spot reversals in trends, and typically it has a 9 candle countdown, and then after that, you may see a reversal, a strong reversal, or a 13 candle countdown, where after that you can then start your next countdown of bullish or bearish reversals. So right now, as I mentioned earlier, the 50 week moving average was broken last week, and we now printed a candle right under it, which has not happened in a few years, mind you. And so this screams to me bullish movement ahead. And again, this is the 3 candle on the TD, which is creates further downside because there can be 9 candles in total, guys. Remember that. So if we just get it over with, straight 9, straight shot down, I would probably think somewhere around like July or mid-July, we might bounce. So that would be great. But the thing is, we've just been moving in this cyclical way, and we just it looks like I could foresee that pattern kind of just dwindling down, and hopefully we don't go down too much further. But right now, as also mentioned, that the pink 64 weekly moving average has been holding us up, time and time again, almost close to that February mark right there, March, April, and potentially now in May. So that could be met around 6,800 to 6,900, and we may bounce off that. And that could happen in the next week. So, which also lines up with our 6th monthly theory. And if you weren't here for that, there's been a theory floating around in the market regarding the 6th having reversals every month. Whether it be on a downtrend, you reverse on the 6th, and on the next 6th, you reverse down. So we in the Cryptosomniacs predicted this a good month ago almost. So if you guys would like to join the Moon Lounge for more secret and privileged information like that, please join. I would love to have you in there. I am there almost 15 hours or 16 hours a day. And I love doing this stuff. I love being able to help out people and understanding how to do TA because, again, guys, TA could be valuable not only just the crypto market, but also the stock market. And, again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I am more than happy to help you guys understand even the stock market and the charts. I've been doing this for, close to 10.5 years now. I mentioned my story of how I got into investing. So I love trading. I love investing. There's just something about the markets that gets me excited. But people often misunderstand how to use the markets to their advantage. They essentially throw money into the markets, and then you become liquidity for the big whales. So I'm gonna try to help you guys avoid that. Okay. Awesome. What else do we have? Love me a sub or two. Yeah. Guys, smash that thumbs up if you can, if you like what I'm saying. Net neutrality set to end on June 11th, CNN Money. Fantastic. Oh, God. That's not good. Awesome. What else? Track. I love Track. PunDX has real world use. I'm bullish on PunDX too. Yes, I do like PunDX. From the little stuff that I know about Pundi X, and it's got some big potential. I don't own any, so how about XLMTA? All right, let's do it. Jeffrey, smash that thumbs up, man. All right, let's do. Okay, excellent Bitcoin, awesome. We have here. Let's pick one with more history on XLM. Let's see. I'm pretty sure Binance has had it for a while. There we go. Awesome. Cool. All right. Looks like there's some strong bottoms created right here. Price rejected hard at this bottom, and that would have been a nice order to be filled if you put one at the low 2000 satoshis. But yeah, after that, it looks like after April, I mean, it's been climbing decently. I think Stellar also got listed with Tether, I'm pretty sure, on Binance, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I mean, it's Stellar's definitely an interesting project. I know a decent amount about Stellar, but I would like to learn more. But in terms of pure TA, again, like this is a decent chart, but again, this does not scream bullish behavior because right after Bitcoin turned early May on 10K, so did Stellar. And guys, again, this is typically the pattern of altcoins in the market, right? They follow the leader, which is Bitcoin. They follow the alpha. Bitcoin leads the market. And so you just need to wait it out and just hang out and wait for the market to pick back up. Investing in the market right now, unless you're investing for the long term, is gambling, and you don't want to do that. However, we at Cryptosomniacs, we provide the best information for you guys to understand long-term investments, and we do as much as we can to help augment your research with information in terms of TA and fundamentals. And yeah, let's see. So you would like some TA on this. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay. Looks like this is probably the one impulse right here. And oh, maybe it started down here. Looks like that might be the start of that impulse. Yep, there we go. So given that, Stellar has moved nicely since mid or almost ending of March to early May, which is when Bitcoin turned over at 10K. It looks like we've been falling since. He does not have crystal ball, so I'm not. Yeah, so as you can see, this is why TA works, guys. Look at that 618 fib, right? The 61.8% fib is actually a really strong bounce zone, even in traditional markets like the stock market. And so, look at that, like a strong bounce every time. Bounce, 2, 3, and nice rise up. And however, I also do see some lower highs being created. This is a high, lower high, but it looks like we've just now created a higher high from this swing right here. So maybe, Stellar might be picking back up. Let's see, in terms of local fibs. Let's see how the indicators look. Let's look at stochastic. Stochastic RSIs, guys, I use those because those are leading indicators versus lagging. I can explain that another time. I just want to get through some of these because I am running short on time. We've almost been streaming for 1 hour. Wow, time goes by fast when you are having fun. Awesome, MACD. And I also like to utilize the Ichimoku cloud and some of the moving averages if I can. Let's check out the volume too. Wow, big uptick in volume here, guys. Clearly there's some buying power coming in to Stellar, you know. This was just dead. I mean, dismal volume, essentially. Look at these huge spikes right here. We're finally catching up somewhere close to, you know, maybe 50 or 60% of the old, you know, buying volume that we saw, you know, earlier on in the year. Stochastic RSI has some room to fall in the 4-hour. So I could see price falling a little bit. The MACD has also, it looks like it's trying to curl down, but I'd probably wait for confirmation on that one. And, you know, looking at the cloud right there, we're trying to rise above the cloud, and rising above the cloud, guys, is you know, a bear or a bullish sign. Sorry. And we have had the TK crossed, and this is a bullish TK cross. So that is a good sign as well. Wow, okay. Well, you know, this is actually good. If you were to buy, I would probably set some buy orders right around where this Tenkan line is, and see if those fill. And I would probably set your stop losses at this Kijun line right here. So 38.20-ish or so, and maybe 37.20 would be your stop loss. Again, not a financial advisor. This is just me, a guy on the internet doing TA. So do whatever you can with the information. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Stellar in terms of fundamentals. So I would probably you know, consider this a strong medium term or a long term hold. Well, I don't own any Stellar, so. All right, guys. A good entry. Did that help, Jeffrey? I said that a good entry target could be 38.20, and a stop loss would be 37.20 or 37.30. So I hope that helps. We're coming to a close here, guys. Please hit that thumbs up. Hopefully you guys like my first webinar. I hope to do more for y'all. Looks like my battery's dying too, so that's another sign. Awesome. Let's see. Any last questions? Unsubscribing, 480 resolution TA with gray background. Oh man, that guy is hard to please. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Maybe I'll see you guys tomorrow or later this weekend. Hopefully, Bethany, I don't want to land more UTTF. Oh man, awesome. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed my TA. You know, please subscribe to our channel. Please hit the thumbs up. You know, check out our Moon Lounge, guys. Like, you know, I also do one-on-one appointments, and I go through your portfolio. I actually teach TA as well. Harden wants a spirit guide. I teach TA. You know, I essentially walk you through every possible question that you have about crypto or investing or trading. So yeah, you know, I will do my best to make sure that you guys do not lose money in this market, and if I can, I'll help you make money. Again, this is not financial advice, just a guy trying to help you make better decisions. All right, guys. Well, that is it. Cheers. Have a good night. Have a good Friday. Much love.